Hey everybody, happy Monday to you. This is Dr. Mark coming to you on this early 5:15 a.m. morning on Monday, October 22nd. Tomorrow's my sister's birthday. I'm not going to say how old she is, but but it's an early Monday morning, and that's kind of appropriate because my topic today is commitment and follow through. And it would have been really easy to stay in bed this morning, but I've got a busy day ahead, and I knew that I wouldn't have time to get a blog out, so I wanted to get up and make sure that I had this done for you today. So one of the many challenges in my life is keeping commitments, and again, that's one reason it was really important for me to get up and do this today. I know it's a big thing because I seem to be surrounded by a lot of people in my life, some very important people and people in general who have the same challenge. That might lead me to conclude that it's a universal problem, keeping commitments, and maybe I'm right about that. But if I'm honest, I'd have to admit that while it's a feel-good attitude to take, um, it really isn't a good excuse. No matter how much people deal with lack of follow through around me, it's not a good excuse for me to have that concern in my own life. So here I am doing a blog about it. You know, they say confront something head on if you want to take it on. So here I am doing that. And on the other hand, it is a common concern, and I bet that you have a similar challenge for whatever reason in your life. So hopefully I can offer today a few suggestions of things that you can do to begin to chip away at that lack of follow through and solve that problem in your own life. So as I said, I've always had a hard time following through with some things in my life, especially probably like you, especially with things that I don't particularly want to do. Although not only those things, there are many days that I can just kind of while away the hours, not accomplishing much of anything, even things that I really do want to do. And for whatever reason, I find myself surrounded by people and in situations where it's easy to put things off. They're either way too understanding or the deadlines just really aren't that firm. I know that when I first moved to New Mexico, and we joke that it's the land of manana, and in some ways it is, but it seems like a perfect storm. On the other hand, of my tendency to kind of procrastinate and not follow through on commitments, and being in an environment where that's kind of okay to do it. But no matter how easy it is, I seem to still always walk away feeling a bit bad and wishing I'd accomplished what I promised to do. And you're probably familiar with that feeling yourself. So I know commitment's becoming an important challenge to solve in my life because I'm finding myself more and more frustrated by people around me who don't follow through with their own commitments. And I mean no offense to people that may be listening to this who I know personally and who know that you might be one of those people. Um, we are mirrors for each other. So on the other hand, I also know that if I work on my own lack of follow through, I'll be less bothered by these other people around me. Either they too are going to find their own solutions, um, or their lack of commitments with their certain things won't show up in my relationship with them. Like attracts like, right? That's the basis of law of attraction. So others are definitely a mirror for the things I need to look at in my own life. And as I do that, uh, people around me begin to change as well. Again, either they actually begin to solve those problems for themselves, or they just don't have those concerns around me, so I don't see them as much. So part of the challenge for me is living in a complex world. I know that, and I know that it's true for you too. There's a lot going on, lots to attend to. It's easy to overpromise, and as I said before, it's also easy to kind of catch a break when I need it. But the challenges around commitment run a lot deeper than that. At least they do for me, and my guess is for you as well. Speaking for myself, there's a flavor of sabotage, not quite allowing myself to achieve the things I say that I want and that I deserve. And can you relate to this? If you can, scroll down and just leave a comment and tell me how you might sabotage yourself with not following through on things that you've committed to do. In addition to that lack of follow through being kind of a form of sabotage, there's also a flavor of reinforcing some inherent belief that I'm not good enough. I grew up with that message in a few of the most important areas of my life. Nobody's fault, it's just the way that it was, but it got ingrained in me that I wasn't good enough. And now at age 57, I still find it a tough message to put to rest, even though at this point in my life, it's my responsibility to do that. I can't blame other people. And finally, there's a piece of feeling like honoring commitments and following through on them. And what I say is important for me is getting into some unfamiliar territory, and I don't really have a roadmap for doing it. And so it's kind of scary. So, do I have the tools and the know-how how to really do that after all these years? It really begs these questions for me. What do I do again at age 57 to start rewriting my script and following through on things in a way that I've not really been very good at doing before? So the questions I ask myself is, do I want to continue in my life being subpar, accomplishing less than my potential, letting some of my dreams go even at this point? What would it take for me to once and for all follow through on those things that I tell myself or others are important to me? Chances are, if you've been called to listen to this vlog, you're wondering some of the same things. And I hope that what I can suggest you take a look at in the next part of this segment will be useful to you. So I have a few suggestions for you to consider, and I'm doing the same, I promise. I'm looking at every one of these things today and in the week to come. Number one, take an honest inventory of your life. Where do you stand in terms of things that you say are important and what really isn't? And it's really important to draw that distinction. So I'll suggest that you do something that's generally pretty easy. Make a list on two different pieces of paper, and that's really important. But do this as a stream of consciousness. Take one piece of paper, and on the top of it write, these things really are important to me. And I want you to list all the things that are important for you to accomplish. At this point, without thinking as you write them, just list them all. Even close your eyes and just write or type on the computer. And don't give them any thought. Just the things that come out of your head, essentially, when you ask yourself, what is really, really important for me to accomplish? Once you've got that, don't even look at the list at this point. Just take another piece of paper or another screen on your computer and do the same thing, but this time title the list things that really aren't that important. So these things may be in your head, things that you've said you want to accomplish, but they really aren't the most important things in the world to you. Then, step two, I want you to go over the two lists, this time with conscious attention, and move things between the two lists that might have been misplaced as you think about them, and that's fine to do. But just go over the two lists until you feel pretty settled that they do represent, on the one hand, things that are important to you, and on the other hand, things that really aren't as important as the others. Number three, once you've got the two lists complete, I want you to ceremoniously dispose of the list of things that you decided are not that important. So at this point, if you've done them on the computer, you might want to print out the lists so that you've got paper copies. And take that list of things that aren't really that important to you, and I want you to burn it, dispose of it in the trash so that it's taken off your property on trash day, bury it, do something symbolic to absolutely get rid of it. And it's really important on the energetic level here to literally get rid of that list out of your environment. So if you do put it in the trash, again, make sure it goes into a place where it's going to be taken off the property on the next trash collection day. Whatever you choose to do with it, while you go through this disposal process, I want you to give thanks for the contrast that these things have provided to you as examples of things that aren't all that important, as a way of knowing better what really is important. Contrast is all important in our life. There's nothing bad. No experience is bad. No person is bad. No idea is bad. At the very, very worst, what they do is they serve you by giving you contrast to compare against the things that really are important to you. And number four, now that you've gotten rid of that list, I want you to take the list of things that are important to you, and next to each one, just make a couple of notes answering one question. What would it take for me to accomplish this? There's no need for complete sentences. You can just jot down some words, ideas, thoughts. What do you need to support you? Then go about putting that infrastructure in place. Is it better organization, better time management, more supportive people in your life, less unsupportive people in your life? Yes, sometimes we do have to carve people or things out of our life in order to move forward ourselves. Is it a renewed commitment to any of the items that you have on that list? Maybe you haven't thought about them for a while, but now they've emerged on this list of things that are really important to you. So, whatever you need, as you can see, this might require you to really look at the core of how you're living your life. You may have to bring some things in that haven't been there and move some things out that don't serve you very well. And finally, begin putting those things, that infrastructure in place. So make sure that you're building the foundation so that you can embark on getting things done that you really want to get done. And then, and only then, set out to accomplish your commitments. Does that make sense? So once you've got the things that aren't all that important out of the equation, put in place the infrastructure that you need to follow through on things that are important, you'll find it much, much easier to follow through on your commitments. Successes, challenges, questions, scroll down below, let us know your thoughts. And with blessings and gratitude from Santa Fe, New Mexico, this is Dr. Mark. Until next time, and be sure and make your comments below, and also take a look at Facebook Live on Wednesday at 5 p.m. U.S. Pacific time. And we're working on another whole process of rediscovering who you really are. Lots of love to you all.